Hey everybody, welcome back to Memorial May. Welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to look for a historical marker in a side of Melbourne I haven't been to yet. There are a couple markers over there and I'm trying to knock them all out in one day, so you might recognize my dress and the angle of the car. I'm going to two different places. This one is the Union Cypress Sawmill. I've already done a video on the Union Cypress Railway. I did not know there was also a marker where the sawmill itself used to be, so I'm very excited to see this. The sawmill is kind of responsible for how the town of Melbourne got power in the first place, because they upgraded their equipment and had to bring in electricity. I know it was in operation from like the 19-teens to about 1932, something like that. I will be refreshing my memory on all of this information in my voiceover to make sure I get it all correct. But I'm excited to see the site of where the sawmill used to be, since I've already seen the railroad and there's train tracks all over down here. So come on with me, let's go check out this marker. Today's adventure brings us to the back parking lot of a church located in an older mill district of Melbourne, Florida, off of Mill Street. We are looking for a historical marker that is here to represent a building that is sadly long gone but not forgotten, as it plays a big important role in the development of Melbourne as a thriving city. The Union Cypress Company was Melbourne's first big industry, bringing employment, growth, and development to this region. Built in 1912, the sawmill was a three-story all-steel structure about 50 feet by 150 feet, and it was equipped to handle the big cypress and pine logs brought in from the surrounding areas. The mill contracted to log all the hardwood in the Hopkins Tract, a vast area of marshland, grassland, and timber surrounding the mill. 5 150-horsepower boilers provided power, and it supplied Melbourne's first electricity. The company's railway to Deer Park provided the first direct route across the St. Johns River for 80 miles south of Enterprise, Florida. Timber came to the mills over the 18.5-mile standard gauge railway running across the St. Johns River to Deer Park, where spur lines fanned out into the timber. Some 40,000 feet of lumber and 45,000 shingles could be produced every single day in the mill from the surrounding areas, including from the cypress and pine holdings of George W. Hopkins. This equated to a market value of $2 million in 1911. Lumber that was not used for local development was shipped out via the Florida East Coast Railway. The mill was the first big employment opportunity in Melbourne, with 300 men working inside the mill and another 200 working out in the field. The little settlement of Hopkins, owned by the Union Cypress Company, had some 69 buildings within its industrial, residential, and commercial areas. Hopkins thrived with a post office, a boarding house, medical facilities, a church, a theater, and a park with a swimming pool. The large sawmill burned down in August of 1919, only a few months after a fire destroyed most of downtown Melbourne at the time. A smaller pine mill was built on the site temporarily. Melbourne was without power for 4 months until electricity could be obtained from O'Galley, a town 5 miles to the north. Construction of a new, larger, and fireproof cypress mill was begun in late 1924, but was halted after the death of George Hopkins in January of 1925. Foshee Manufacturing Company leased the now idle mill and the railway in March of 1928, but eventually was forced to close in late 1932 due to a decline in the lumber market following the Great Depression. The buildings and railroad were all torn down and sold off in 1932. Less than a handful of the original buildings exist today. All right, well, you see there's not a lot left at the site where the Union Cypress sawmill used to be. Just train tracks, of course, in the distance, but I thought people might like to see this anyway. I wanted to see it. I'm not hugely interested in Florida's rail history, even though it is a big part of how Florida became to be so populated and such a tourist attraction like it is today. But it seems like a lot of these places that I go to have a connection with rail history, so it just keeps just keeps coming up. So I am here for it. I will track down any railroad type historical marker that I can find, just to keep the flow of the story, or to keep the story going. They might end up getting posted out of order, and I apologize for that because I'm posting in the order that I'm filming. But I hope you enjoyed it, even though there wasn't much to see. At least we got to see the Brightline, right? All right, everybody, I'll see you another day in another adventure. Thank you for watching. Bye.